Welcome to Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today we'll be unboxing Sleeping Gods, designed by Ryan Lockett, art by Ryan Lockett, and published by Red Raven Games. If you've ever played a Ryan Lockett game, you'll recognize this as one of his. He definitely develops his art and mechanics with each iteration, and this is supposed to be one of his greatest games. This does seem to be a new trend in games where you're having a book instead of a board. It definitely works for this type of game where you're progressing through a story, so you're constantly changing locations and don't have a fixed board. A lot of nice art on this book that is intriguing and gets you interested in visiting these locations without giving away what to expect when you visit them. Nice looking rule book. It's rather thick, but for the most part it looks like they kept the word count per page to a minimum, so there's a lot of images. Everything's chunked into manageable sections. Looks like a pretty well written rule book, if a bit chunky. From what I understand, it's a fairly sandboxy game, which means you can do pretty much whatever you want in this game, so it does make sense there's a fair amount of rules. Looks like a tracking sheet for campaign that goes from campaign to campaign with multiple possible endings. And this looks like a reference sheet. It's definitely too wordy for a good reference through mid-game, but I can see this being useful for a refresher. Okay, this looks like it's giving you a place to start with a turn-by-turn walkthrough to basically get you through the first couple turns of the game. Nice cover on this. Okay, this is a storybook, so I don't really want to give you a close look at anything in here because there's definitely used to be spoilers, but there are a lot of possible little story elements you can encounter throughout this game. 172-page storybook. Possible events that you can encounter. It's pretty impressive. Journey log. This looks like some sort of save system to keep track of where you left off so you can continue on later. Okay, so we have some basic tokens. Looks like command tokens and health or damage tokens, and then your meeple and some extra little cubes. I say this a lot, it's a little thing, but the extra bags really are a nice addition to a game. Okay, a little miniature for your ship to move around the map. It's actually fairly nicely detailed. Good quality plastic. You know, minis are often superfluous, maybe in this case, but at least there's just the one, and I think it'll be thematically useful. Okay, so these are market cards. The art is alright, nothing special. Symbology, at first glance, it's a little bit unclear, but perhaps when you play the game it'll be much clearer. Who knows? So these are the ability cards. From what I understand, these are multifunction cards, so they can use for various abilities, but they're also used to determine the results of an event, with the number on the top left being used to determine that. Okay, we got another deck of cards. Okay, it looks like we have two different types of cards here. We got some more ability cards. We already talked about those. Art on these are pretty minimalistic, they're fine. These look like, okay, these must be the characters you can play as. Once again, the art's fine. Nothing's, it's nice. Gets the point across. Okay, so these cards are numbered, so I probably want to be careful not to shuffle these. They look like the various monsters you can encounter throughout the game. Looks like there's a few duplicates, or a few different versions of each monster. I don't want to look at these too closely. Any numbered cards generally are things that could be potential spoilers. I'm definitely worried about spoilers on these, so I won't open each pack, but looks like there's a various events cards, adventure cards, quest cards, and things like that in here. There's quite a lot of cards in this game. And, you know, the art, I mean, a lot of people like Ryan Lockett's art. I do. I definitely prefer his scenery over his people. I'm all right with the way he depicts people, but I really do like the way he depicts landscapes and monsters and things like that. It looks like the punch boards are under here. Okay, it looks like your ship. Oh wow, these are really high quality. They really well cut. Everything's just falling out of these punch boards. I do like the way the components look. You know, I was just kind of fussing about the character art if I were to unlock it, but these little player boards, these character boards, I do really like those. So, yeah, they look much better on the boards than they do on the cards themselves. Don't know why I prefer it that way. But yeah, very good, high quality components, well cut boards. Shouldn't have any issue with those components. Well, that's all the components for Sleeping Gods. I'm very excited to play this game. I do like Ryan Laukatt's game. He seems to be improving with each game. Above and Below I thought was alright. I could see some really good strengths in it, but I saw some flaws, and that the story was not really that critical. It didn't develop. It was just individual events. His games after that especially have definitely improved on this, and this really seems to be focusing on the story part of it, so I'm very excited here. Well, thank you for watching. As always, you can catch us here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere podcasts can be found, and many other social medias. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.